Hi all, welcome back to the channel Social Work Education. Today we are going to see the topic stages or phases of group development. So before moving to see the stages and phases, we are going to see what is group development. Group development is a process of the growth and progress of a group towards full maturity over a period of time with primary focus on the relationships in the group. So, in social group work, through guided group experience, the group is helped to develop responsibly and with maturity. So, from the stage of formation or forming the group to its termination, through carefully and well planned program activities, the group is helped to achieve its potential. Group development, thus, is an index of the specific level of growth, task accomplishment, and emotional integration of the members, which goes through different stages. Okay, now let us see the indicators of group development. First one is attendance, second indicator is punctuality, third one is definite meeting time and attendance, fourth indicator is development of a formal organization, and the fifth one is willingness on the part of the members to undertake initiative and responsibility. Sixth indicator is increased innovation and motivation. Then we can see controlled behavior of the members. High level of participation we can see as eighth indicator. And the ninth indicator is emergence of leader. And the tenth, that is the last indicator, that is shift from I and me to we and us. So these 10 points are the indicators of group formation. So, as we all know, different theorists based on their interpretations have given their own models of the stages of group development. So, we may be familiar with the group development stages by Tuckman, Trucker, Klein, Garland, Norton, and Kurland. So, today we are going to see Tuckman's model of group development or stages of group development. So, according to Tuckman, there are 5 stages of group development or group formation. Okay, who is this Tuckman? Now, let us see who is this Tuckman. So, Bruce Tuckman, an educational psychologist who first identified and named the 5 stages of team development or group formation or group development. So, a team is first a group of strangers, right? So, who became acquainted as they work together towards a common goal. So, in fact, the term group development refers to the process of learning to work together. So, a group drifts through the 5 stages of team development naturally over time. So, nevertheless, understanding and being able to identify the stages may make the journey through them a lot smoother. So, a group that makes it through these stages without falling apart is considered to be high performing. So, the 5 stages of group development are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. So, the first stage is forming stage. The forming stage is the first stage of team development. So, in fact, as this at this stage, the team is not yet fully formed. So, as the name indicates, it is the process of forming. So, the team is still just getting acquainted. So, there can be a lot of uncertainty at this stage, and everyone probably has a lot to say and a lot of ideas to put on the table. So, but one wants to take up too much space in the group or make anyone feel rushed. So, it is at this stage that a natural leader for the team might be determined. For example, in a business environment, the forming stage can be a new hire's first stage or new employee's first stage or first day. So, when he or she joins a brand new team, thereby shifting the team's dynamic. So, the team has then has to go through the forming stage again. So, another example might be the forming of a new team for the planning of the holiday party or something like that. Okay, so the second stage is storming stage. The name of this stage also gives it way of the different stages of the team development. This is not the easiest. It is the critical step that every team needs to experience in order to move on to bigger and greater things. So things get more difficult at this stage because the team members have gotten to know one another and have collectively started to feel the pressure of their project mounting. In this stage, pleasantries are over and personality flows starts to show. So it can be a period of conflict and competition. It is normal to see a decrease in team productivity at this stage, and therefore it's important to navigate through this stage carefully and quickly. For example, what the storming stage of team development looks like in the real world is conflict. So it can be a pretty clash of personality or an incompatibility in communication styles. So it could be something more serious, such as a disagreement about the team's goals. So it could even exhibit itself on one team member accusing another of not pulling their weight in the project. So it might be just a flare upon over some minor inconveniences. The key is to identify any conflict and address it as soon as possible so that it doesn't grow out of proportion. Now we can see the third stage, that is norming stage. So after the tempest of the storming stage, the norming stage is a welcome period of the relative tranquility. So as conflicts settle, people's strength and skills start to shine and to be recognized. So individual contributions towards the common goal are being valued, and it is also at this stage that the leader or leaders of the group are confirmed. So nevertheless, the conflicts might not be completely gone, but a new understanding is reached and can hopefully remain. So it's up the leaders or leader of the team to keep their group moving forward. So for example, the norming stage of the team development is an overall more productive time for the team or the group. So the real world group can start to see a spike in group performance or productivity at this point. Okay, so the fourth stage is performing stage. If teams are able to maintain the norming stage without sliding back into destructive conflict, they will naturally transition towards the performing stage. So not all teams or all groups manage to make it to the stage. So it definitely takes time. So this phase is marked by familiarity, maturity, and by the team's own focus on the project goal. So at this stage, roles and responsibilities have been fully defined and properly distributed. So the team functions like a well-oiled machine, and the teamwork runs smoothly and essentially unsupervised. Okay, for example, this is where the real work happens in this performing stage. So every member of the team is focused and set on the team's objective. So there is a sense of trust and confidence within the team. For any team or group that has reached this stage, there is no possible ways to miss the goal or the objective. So it's now just a matter of delivering. And the last stage, that is adjourning or mourning. Finally, the adjourning stage, melancholy can set in as the team or the group disperse and moves on other topics. So this phase comes as the first or the final tasks are completed and the project wraps up. So the team members who have grown used to working together are reassigned to other teams or projects. So it's the end of a successful partnership. So the adjourning stage is the most bittersweet of the stages of the group development. So in a real business context, it can actually involve feelings of a sadness and even of loss for the team members. So luckily, with today's proliferation of means of communication, all team members can definitely remain friends. So these are the 5 stages which is explained by Tuckman. So I just explained it with a business model. So as a conclusion to this, I can say that the forming stage, the initial group development stage, where the group members are first getting to know each other and they lay down the foundations for the group, and it is a bit of a honeymoon period in the group's interaction. Okay, so the second stage is storming stage. So in this stage, the friendly facade begins to wear off, and the group may face interpersonal issues and conflicts. And if not controlled, open hostility may occur, and the group is resisting and testing boundaries. The third stage is norming stage. They begins to unify in this stage. Much of the resistance should be gone, and the group is becoming more comfortable with each other. And in the fourth stage, that is performing, the group should be at the highest of productivity, and the only conflict are constructive and necessary. So the group is functioning as a cohesive unit. And the last stage, that is adjourning, we can see this is the final stage, and the group is wrapping up and saying their goodbyes, and members should be recognized for the contributions to the group. So these are the 5 stages of group formation by Tuckman. Thank you.